Hi guys, I'm Awesomefusion here with an Urgot guide. Urgot is one of my favourite champions in this game and is definitely one of the strongest. He's a very popular pick or ban in high elo and competitive play, which it just shows how much of a strong champion he is, and I'm here to give you a good idea on how to take advantage of this and probably get to Milo. I've noticed players in the lower elo brackets don't find Urgot very appealing, and he just generally seems to be a weak pick and doesn't seem to be very popular. This is probably due to the lack of guides and information on how to play him correctly. Essentially, Urgot is an anti-carry. He has great harass potential with his Q and E. His ultimate is designed to swap someone in more important than you, for example a Cogmore or an Ari or anything with a good late game. Most people play Urgot bot lane with the support, however I also feel he's viable mid and top. You can play him middle versus a lot of matchups simply due to the fact that the mid champion doesn't generally run armor runes unless you're perhaps a Fizz or a Galio, which means Urgot is going to do a hell of a lot of damage to them and you'll be able to zone them quite well. On bot lane, Urgot can synchronize basically with any support I feel, however the best combinations I've found after playing quite a few Urgot games have to be Soraka, Taric and Alistar. As Urgot, your main concern should be taking advantage of your early game and denying as much farm as you can from your lane opponents. In teamfights, ideally you should be initiating with your ultimate onto someone of importance such as an AP or AD carry, even after a fight has already broke out. If you haven't used your ultimate yet, it can still be beneficial to swap someone right into the middle of it. And I mean, even if you catch someone off guard, like even if it's their Yorick or big tank, you can still focus them down if you're sure the other enemies are far away. After that, you should generally be focusing the person with the least armor. It's also advised to end games for 40 minutes unless you have some sort of hyper carry in your team, which then you just become a big tank to soak up damage and swap someone in. In terms of skill order, I always max Q first, then E or W depending on what my lane opponents are. If I'm against a kind of bursty bot lane, for example like Leona Corki or something like that, I'll max W just to survive their bursts and then get back to harassing. If not, I'll max E. Item wise, I'll go a couple of Doran's Blades, and then most of the time I'll go Brutalizer. Then after that, almost all of the time I'll go Frozen Heart as well, just to get the cooldown reduction going. And getting the Frozen Heart is also such a nice way to win trades as well. It just reduces their attack speed so much and gives you so much armor that it's really difficult to lose trades unless you're against a lane that's doing so much magic damage. Mostly I go Mercury Treads because after swapping someone in and the short range you have with your auto attacks, you'll find yourself amongst the enemy team quite frequently. Alternative boots are Lucidity boots or Ninja Tabis. Later on in the game I like to pick up a Moe of Mortius if the enemy team has a strong magic damage presence. If not, I'll get a Guardian Angel. Last Whisper can also be a very beneficial item on Urgot if the enemy team is stacking quite a bit of armor, because it increases your damage so much if the enemy team's just really building against you, for example if you get fed or something like that. Alternatively, if they're not building armor, you don't want to build a Last Whisper anyway, you want to just build something that gives you a lot of AD. Items to consider for that can be Bloodthirster. The lifesteal isn't so beneficial for you on that, as you still auto attack on Urgot, but it's not that amazing and you don't build attack speed. So Atma's Impaler as well is a very good item on Urgot. Sword of the Occult if you're going to do some crazy snowball Urgot build, however I don't recommend it. And Manimune, which is I think is still a very good item for Urgot. People used to build it before Genja started the crazy Frozen Heart Urgot build, and people still used to build Brutalizer of course on Urgot before, because it's just an obvious item on Urgot to build. But yeah, I still think Manimune is still good. It's just doesn't scale very well into late game. I think that's why people don't build it so much anymore. Urgot is such a strong champion. I'd love to see more people playing him. Much like Ashe, you really need to have to not hesitate and take the initiative to swap someone in and start the fight off and just take it by the reins. And if you see an opportunity, just grab it and don't look back, and you can't dwell on past mistakes and be afraid to swap someone in. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please subscribe.